Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Karina, Living Lean Six Sigma. I'm continuing part 4 of the Airframe 2020 test guide. Continuing with hydraulic and pneumatic power systems section. Question: what type of packings should be used in hydraulic components to be installed in a system containing skydrol? Answer: packing materials made for ester-based fluids. Note: any packing used in hydraulic systems using skydrol hydraulic fluid must be compatible with the ester-based fluid of which skydrol is a type. Only packing specifically called out by part numbers should be used in an aircraft hydraulic system. Question: relief valves are used in pneumatic systems. Answer: as damage preventing units. Note: these are installed to protect the system from excessive pressure buildup that can be caused by thermal expansion or by a compressor power system malfunction. Question: an aircraft pneumatic system which incorporates an engine-driven multi-stage reciprocating compressor also requires. Answer: a moisture separator. If moisture were allowed in the system, it would cause it to freeze and block the system. Question: the removal of air from an aircraft hydraulic system is generally accomplished. Answer: by operating the various hydraulic components through several cycles. Question: pneumatic systems utilize. Answer: relief valves. Question: the component in the hydraulic system that is used to direct the flow of fluid is the. Answer: selector valve. Question: what type of selector valve is one of the most commonly used in hydraulic systems to provide for simultaneous flow of fluid into and out of a connected actuating unit? Answer: 4-port closed center valve. Question: what is the purpose of using backup rings with O-rings in hydraulic systems above 1,500 psi? Answer: preventing high pressure from extruding the seals between the moving and stationary parts. Question: the purpose of the pressure regulator in a hydraulic system is to. Answer: maintain system operating pressure within a predetermined range and to unload the pump. Question: a flexible sealing element subject to motion is a. Answer: packing. Question: which characteristics apply to aircraft hydraulic systems? Answer: minimum maintenance requirements, lightweight, simple to inspect. Question: if a rigid tube is too short for the flare to reach its seat before tightening, pulling it into place by tightening. Answer: may distort the flare. Note: this poor practice will distort the flare and could actually pull it off the tube. Question: the installation of a new metal hydraulic line should be made with. Answer: enough bends to allow the tube to expand and contract with temperature changes and to absorb vibration. Question: extrusion of an O-ring seal is prevented in high pressure systems by the use of a. Answer: backup ring on the side of the O-ring away from the pressure. Question: what is one advantage of piston type hydraulic motors over electric motors? Answer: there is no fire hazard if the motor is stalled. Question: generally, the first step in removing an accumulator from an aircraft is to. Answer: relieve system pressure. Question: Refer to this figure. The AN flare tube fitting is referred to in which picture? Answer, number 1. This is page 61. Question. Refer to figure 12. Which illustration shows the correct spiral for Teflon backup rings? Answer, 1 and 3. That's the top and bottom one. Question. If a hydraulic brake system uses neoprene rubber packing materials, the correct hydraulic fluid to service the system is? Answer, mineral-based oil. Note, systems using vegetable-based fluid should use natural rubber seals, and systems using phosphate ester-based fluid should use butyl seals. Question. The internal resistance of a fluid which tends to prevent it from flowing is called? Answer, viscosity. Question. What is the viscosity of hydraulic fluid? Answer, the internal resistance of a fluid which tends to prevent it from flowing. Question. Which is a characteristic of petroleum-based hydraulic fluid? Answer, flammable under normal conditions. Question. Regarding the above statements, which one's true and false? 1. When servicing aircraft hydraulic systems, use the type fluid specified in the aircraft manufacturer's maintenance manual or on the instruction plate affixed to the reservoir or unit. 2. Hydraulic fluids for aircraft are dyed a specific color for each type of fluid. Answer, both are true. The hydraulic fluids are dyed, the dye is red and it's MIL-H-5606. Some of the synthetic hydraulic fluids are dyed purple and others are dyed green. Question. Petroleum-based hydraulic fluids is which color? Answer, red. MIL-H-5606. Question. Which of the following is adversely affected by atmospheric humidity if left unprotected? Answer, and the answer is Skydrol hydraulic fluid. This one is susceptible to contamination from moisture in the atmosphere. Question. Which is a characteristic of synthetic-based hydraulic fluid? Answer, high flash point. Question. Which statement about fluid is correct? Answer, all fluids readily transmit pressure. Question. 2 types of hydraulic fluids currently being used in civil aircraft are? Answer, mineral-based and phosphate ester-based. Question. Which of the following lists only desirable properties of a good hydraulic fluid that has chemical stability? Answer, low viscosity, high flash point, high fire point. Question. Characteristics of MIL-H-8446, Skydrol 500 A and B, hydraulic fluids are? Answer, light purple color, phosphate ester base, fire resistant, butyl rubber seals. Question. Where can information be obtained about compatibility of fire resistant hydraulic fluid with aircraft minerals? Answer, fluid manufacturers' technical bulletins. Question. Characteristics of MIL-H-5606 hydraulic fluids are? Answer, red color, petroleum-based, will burn, synthetic rubber seals. Question. Characteristics of mill H7644 hydraulic fluid are: answer, blue color, vegetable based, will burn, natural rubber seals. Question. If an aircraft hydraulic system requires mineral-based hydraulic fluid, but phosphate ester-based hydraulic fluid is used, what will be the effect on the system? Answer. The system will be contaminated, fluid will not blend, and the seal will fail. Note, these two fluids are not compatible. Question. What is used to flush a system normally serviced with mill H5606 hydraulic fluid? Answer. Naphtha or Varsol. Question. Components containing phosphate ester-based hydraulic fluid may be cleaned with: answer, soldered solvent. Question. How can the proper hydraulic fluid be used in an airplane be determined? Answer, by consulting the aircraft manufacturer's service manual. Question. Phosphate ester-based hydraulic fluid is very susceptible to contamination from: answer, water in the atmosphere. Next question. Regarding the above statement, true or false? Number 1. Materials which are Skydrel compatible or resistant include most common aircraft metals and polyurethane and epoxy paints. 2. Skydrel hydraulic fluid is compatible with nylon and natural fibers. Answer. Both number 1 and number 2 are true. Note, Skydrel does not appreciably affect common aircraft metals such as aluminum, silver, zinc, magnesium, cadmium, iron, stainless steel, bronze, chromium, and others, as long as the fluids are kept free from contaminations. Paints such as epoxies and polyurethane are Skydrel resistant. Number 2 note is Skydrel fluid is compatible with natural fibers and with a number of synthetics, including nylon, which are used extensively in modern aircraft. Question. The hydraulic component that automatically directs fluid from either the normal source or an emergency source to an actuating cylinder is called a: answer, shuttle valve. Question. What is commonly used to connect an emergency source of power and at the same time disconnect the normal hydraulic source from critical parts of a landing gear or wheel braking system for operation, usually when the normal source system fails? Answer, shuttle valve. Question. The primary purpose of a hydraulic actuating unit is to transform: answer, fluid pressure into useful work. Question. The primary function of the flap overload valve is to: answer, prevent the flap from being lowered at airspeeds which would impose excessive structural load. Question. The unit which transforms hydraulic pressure into linear motion is called: answer, an actuating cylinder. Question. If it is necessary to adjust several pressure regulating valves in a hydraulic system, what particular sequence, if any, should be followed? Answer, units with the highest pressure setting are adjusted first. Note, if a valve having a low pressure setting is adjusted first, you will never be able to reach the pressure required for the higher setting. Question. If an aircraft constant pressure hydraulic system cycles more frequently than usual and no fluid leakage can be detected, the most probable cause is: answer, low accumulator air preload. Note, the hydraulic system cycling more frequently than it should is an indication of the accumulator air preload is low. If it's not holding the pressure on the system as long as it would if the preload pressure were correct. Question: unloading valves are used with many engine-driven hydraulic pumps to answer: relieve the pump pressure. Question: what safety device is usually located between the driving unit and hydraulic pump drive shaft? Answer: pump drive coupling shear section. Note: almost all engine-driven hydraulic pumps have a shear section in their drive coupling. If all of the pressure relief devices should fail or if the pump should seize, the shaft will shear and prevent the pump from being further damaged. Question: which valve installed in a hydraulic system will have the highest pressure setting? Answer: thermal relief valve. Question: excluding lines, which components are required to make up a simple hydraulic system? Answer: pump, reservoir, selector valve, and actuator. Question: most variable displacement aircraft hydraulic pumps in use, answer, contain a built-in means of system pressure regulation. Question: in a gear-type hydraulic pump, a mechanical safety device incorporated to protect the pump from overload is the answer, shear pin. Question: after installation of a rebuilt hydraulic hand pump, it is found that the handle cannot be moved into the pumping direction, pressure stroke. The most likely cause is an incorrectly installed, answer, hand pump out port check valve. Question: pressure is a term used to indicate the force per a unit area. Pressure is usually expressed in, answer, pounds per square inch. Question: if two actuating cylinders which have the same cross-sectional area but different lengths of stroke are connected to the same source of hydraulic pressure, they will exert, answer, equal amounts of force and will move at the same rate of speed. Question: using a hand pump, pressure of 100 psi has been built up in a hydraulic system. The hand pump piston is 1 inch in diameter. A 1/2 inch line connects the hand pump to actuating cylinder 2 inches in diameter. What is the pressure in the line between the hand pump and the actuator? Answer: 100 psi. Question: heat exchanger cooling units are required in some aircraft hydraulic system because of, answer, high pressures and high rates of fluid flow. Question: which is true regarding the ground check of a flap operating mechanism which has just been installed? Answer: if the time required to operate the mechanism decreases with successive operations, it indicates the air is being worked out of the system. Note: it is normal procedure for a double-acting system such as a flap operating mechanism to have air in it when it's first installed. To remove this air, the system is cycled through a number of times. As the air is expelled from the system, the operating time will decrease because of the loss of compressible fluid in the system. Question: a hydraulic system operational check during ground run-up of an aircraft indicates that the wing flaps cannot be lowered using the main hydraulic system, but can be lowered by using the emergency hand pump, which is the most likely cause. Answer: the fluid level in the reservoir is low. Question: many hydraulic reservoirs contain a small quantity of fluid which is not available to the main system pump. The fluid is retained to, answer, supply fluid to the auxiliary pump. Auxiliary. Aux pump. Question. The unit in a hydraulic system that requires a certain action to be completed before another action can begin is called a, answer, sequence valve. Who knew? Question. The purpose of a hydraulic pressure regulator is to, answer, relieve the pump of its load when no actuating units are being operated. Question. Several kickbacks of the emergency hydraulic hand pump handle during the normal intake stroke will indicate which of the following? Answer. The hand pump outlet check valve is sticking open. Question. What type of valve in an aircraft hydraulic system permits fluid to flow freely in one direction but restricts the rate at which fluid is allowed to flow in the other direction? Answer. Orifice check valve. Question. The main system pressure relief valve is a simple hydraulic system equipped with a power control valve. Should be adjusted, answer, with the power control valve held in the closed position. Note, when the control valve is a hand pump operated shutoff valve with an automatic turn on feature, it must be closed manually, but it opens automatically. When the unit is open, it permits free circulation of fluid from one engine-driven pump to the reservoir. In a way, it relieves the pump of its load. In order to adjust the system pressure relief valve, the power control valve must be pushed into its closed position and held until the system pressure builds up high enough to adjust the system pressure relief valve. Question. Which of the following safeguards ensures proper system operation and mitigates damage to non-metallic components of the hydraulic system? Answer. When adding fluid to a system, use the type specified in the aircraft manufacturer's maintenance manual or on the instruction plate affixed to the reservoir or the unit being serviced. I think it means of the unit being serviced. Spelling error. Question. A hydraulic accumulator is charged with an air pressure load of 1,000 psi. When a hydraulic system pressure of 3,000 psi is developed, the pressure on the air side of the accumulator will be, answer, 3,000 psi. Note, when a hydraulic system pressure is 3,000 psi, the pressure of the air in the accumulator will also be the same. Question. How is the air in a hydraulic accumulator prevented from entering the fluid system? Answer. By physically separating the air chamber from the oil chamber with a flexible or movable separator. Note, the hydraulic system has these two chambers of the accumulator being separated by a diaphragm, a bladder, or a movable piston. Question. After a hydraulic accumulator has been installed and an air chamber charged, the main system hydraulic pressure gauge will not show a hydraulic pressure reading until, answer, the fluid side of the accumulator has been charged. Question. Which must be done before adjusting the relief valve of a main hydraulic system incorporating the pressure regulator? Answer. Eliminate the action of the unloading valve. Question. Which seals are used with petroleum-based hydraulic fluid? Answer. Buena N. Question. Seals used with a mineral-based hydraulic fluid are identified by which color code? Answer. Blue dot or stripe. Note, mineral-based hydraulic fluid, MIL or MIL-H-5606, should use a seal with a blue dot or stripe. Question. The air that is expended and no longer needed when an actuating unit is operated in a pneumatic system is? Answer. Exhausted or dumped, usually overboard. Question. Some hydraulic systems incorporate a device which is designed to remain open to allow a normal fluid flow in the line, but closed if the fluid flow increases above an established rate. This device is generally referred to as a answer, hydraulic fuse. Question. When hydraulic system pressure control and relief unit fail to function properly, how are most systems protected against overpressure? Answer. A shear section on the main hydraulic pump drive shaft. Question. A worn hydraulic pump shaft seal can normally be detected by? Answer. Hydraulic fluid flowing from the pump drain line. Question. If an engine-driven hydraulic pump of a correct capacity fails to maintain normal system pressure during the operation of a cowl flap actuating unit, the probable cause is? Answer. Restriction in the pump outlet. Note, if there's a restriction in the pump outlet or between the pump outlet and the system pressure regulator, the system pressure will drop when some unit is accumulated. Question. Before removing the filler cap of a pressurized hydraulic reservoir, in order to service the system, you must? Answer. Relieve the air pressure. Question. What happens to the outpost of a constant displacement hydraulic pump when the hydraulic system pressure regulator diverts the fluid from the system to the reservoir? Answer. The output pressure reduces, but the volume remains the same. Question. Hydraulic system accumulators serve which of the following functions? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1. Dampens pressure surges. 2. Supplement the system pump when demand is beyond the pump's capacity. 3. Store power for limited operation of components if the pump is not operating. 4. Ensure a continuous supply of fluid to the pump. Answer. 1, 2, and 3, not including 4. Question. Chattering of the hydraulic pump during operation is an indication of? Answer. That air is entering the pump. Question. Quick disconnect couplings in hydraulic systems provide a means of? Answer. Quickly connecting and disconnecting hydraulic lines without loss of fluid or entrance of air into the system. Question. Which seal material is used with phosphate ester-based hydraulic fluid? Answer. Butyl rubber. Question. A hydraulic pump is a constant displacement type if it? Answer. Delivers a uniform rate of fluid flow. Question. A hydraulic motor converts fluid pressure to? Answer. Rotary motion. Question. A cross-flow valve, which is designed to bypass fluid from one side of the actuating cylinder to the other side under certain conditions, may be found in some aircraft installed in the? Answer. Landing gear system. Question. Hydraulic fluid filtering element constructed of porous paper are normally? Answer. Discarded at regular intervals and replaced with new filter elements. Question. A pilot reports that when the hydraulic pump is running, the pressure is normal. However, When the pump is stopped, no hydraulic pressure is available. This is an indication of, answer, leaking accumulator air valve. Question: if fluid is added to a reservoir in a constant pressure hydraulic system while the system is pressurized, what will be the result? Answer: the fluid level will increase when the system pressure is reduced. Question: in a hydraulic system that has a reservoir pressurized with turbine engine compressor bleed air, which unit reduces the air pressure between the engine and the reservoir? Answer: air pressure regulator. Question: what is the main purpose of a pressurized reservoir in a hydraulic system? Answer: prevent hydraulic pump cavitation. Question: one of the main advantages of Skydrol is that it's, answer, wide operating temperatures. Note, the temperature operates from negative 65 degrees Fahrenheit to greater than 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Question: hydraulic fluid reservoirs are sometimes designed with a standpipe in one of the outlet ports in order to assure emergency supply of fluid. The outlet port with the standpipe in it furnishes fluid to the, answer, normal system power pump. Note, the normal system power pump connects the fluid outlet of the reservoir that is fed from the standpipe. If the power pump forces all of the fluid available to its overboard through a broken line, there will still be fluid in the reservoir that can be used by the emergency hand pump. Question: an emergency supply of fluid is often retained in the main hydraulic system reservoir by the use of the standpipe. The supply line is connected to the, answer, inlet of the main hydraulic system. Question: to check the air charge in a hydraulic accumulator, answer, reduce all hydraulic pressure, then observe the reading on the accumulator air gauge. Question: how would the air pressure charge in the accumulator be determined if the engine is inoperative but the system still has hydraulic pressure? Answer: operate a hydraulic unit slowly and note the pressure at which a rapid pressure drop begins as it goes towards zero. Note, watch the system pressure gauge. The last pressure indicated on the gauge before it suddenly drops to zero is the pressure of the air in the accumulator. Question: how many of these seals are used with petroleum-based hydraulic fluid? Answer: neoprene and Buna N. Buna N. Question: hydraulic system thermal relief valves are set to open at a, answer, higher pressure than the system relief valve. Question: chatter in a hydraulic system is caused by, answer, air in the system. Question: if hydraulic fluid is released when the air valve core of the accumulator is depressed, it is evidence of, answer, a ruptured diaphragm or leaking seals. Question: although the dents in the heel of a bend are not permissible, they are acceptable in the remainder of a hydraulic tube providing they are less than what percent of the tube's diameter? Answer: 20%. Question: if the hydraulic system pressure is normal while the engine-driven pump is running, but there is no pressure after the engine has been shut off, this indicates, answer, no air pressure in the accumulator. Question. The purpose of restrictors in hydraulic systems is to, answer, control the rate of movement of hydraulically operated mechanisms. Question. A common cause of slow actuation of hydraulic components is, answer, internal leakage in the actuating unit. Question. A loud hammering noise in a hydraulic system having an accumulator usually indicates, answer, too low or no preload in the accumulator. Question. Teflon hose that has developed a permanent set from being exposed to high pressure or temperature should, answer, not be straightened or bent further. Question. In a typical high-pressure pneumatic system, if the moisture separator does not vent accumulated water when the compressor shuts down, a likely cause is a, answer, malfunctioning solenoid dump valve. Next section, cabin atmosphere control systems. Question. Which section of a turbine engine provides high pressure bleed air to an air cycle machine for pressurization and air conditioning? Answer, low or high pressure compressor. Note, the bleed air that is used to drive the air cycle machine is taken from one of the lower pressure stages of the turbine engine compressor. Question. At which component in the air cycle cooling system does air undergo a pressure and temperature drop? Answer, expansion turbine. Question. In a Freon vapor cycle cooling system, where is cooling air obtained for the condenser? Answer, ambient air. Question. What is ventilating air used for on a combustion heater? Answer, carries heat to the places where needed. Question. Turbine engines are used for air conditioning and pressurization is generally called, answer, bleed air. Question. In the combustion heater, combustion air systems, what prevents too much air from entering the heaters as air pressure increases? Answer, either a combustion air relief valve or a differential pressure regulator. Question. How is the cabin pressure of an aircraft maintained in flight? Answer, by controlling the rate of the air flowing out of the cabin. Question. What controls the operation of the cabin pressure regulator? Answer, cabin altitude. Question. The basic air cycle cooling system contains of, answer, a source of compressed air, heat exchangers, and a turbine. Question. The purpose of the dump valve in a pressurized aircraft is to relieve, answer, all positive pressure from the cabin. Question. What component might possibly be damaged if liquid refrigerant is introduced into the low side of the vapor cycle cooling system when the pressure is too high or the outside air temperature is too low? Answer, compressor. Question. How can it be determined that a vapor cycle cooling system is charged with the proper amount of Freon? Answer, Air bubbles in the sight glass disappears. Question. When charging a vapor cycle cooling system after evacuation, the low pressure gauge fails to come out of a vacuum. What is indicated? Answer. Blockage in the system. Question. What component in a vapor cycle cooling system would most likely be at fault if a system would not take a Freon charge? Answer. Expansion valve. Question. Frost or ice buildup on a vapor cycle cooling system evaporator would most likely be caused by? Answer. Inadequate airflow through the evaporator. Question. What tests is used to determine the serviceability of an oxygen cylinder? Answer. Pressure test with water. Note, high pressure oxygen cylinders must be periodically hydrostatically tested. In this test, they are filled with water and pressurized to 5/3 of their working pressure. Question. How often should standing weight, high pressure oxygen cylinders be hydrostatically tested? Answer. Every 5 years. Question. To be eligible for recharging a DOT 3H Tango, Hotel Tango, oxygen cylinder must have been hydrostatically tested every 3 years and be retired from service after? Answer. 24 years or 4,380 filling cycles. Note, AC 4313-1B on page 9-41 states, quote, the lightweight cylinders must be hydrostatically tested every 3 years and must be retired from service after 24 years or 4,380 pressurizations. Question. What type of oxygen system uses the rebreather bag type mask? Answer. Continuous flow. Question. The component that determines the pressure valve in the cabin is the cabin air pressure. Answer. Outflow valve. Question. Hot compressor bleed air operates the conditioned air system on some turbine aircraft. Cold air supplied by the? Answer. Air cycle air conditioning. Question. For use in pressurized aircraft, which is generally the least complicated and requires the least maintenance? Answer. Chemical oxygen generator systems. Question. What is the main cause of contamination in a gaseous oxygen system? Answer. Moisture. Question. Where does the last stage of cooling in an air cycle air conditioning system occur? Answer. Expansion turbine. Question. The point at which Freon flows through a vapor cycle cooling system, gives up heat and exchanges from a gas to a liquid is the? Answer. Condenser. Question. The point at which Freon flowing through a vapor cycle cooling system absorbs heat and changes from a liquid to a gas is the? Answer. Evaporator. Question. How is the cabin pressure of a pressurized aircraft usually controlled? Answer. By an automatic outflow valve that dumps all of the pressure in excess of the amount for which it is set. Question. Which is considered a good practice concerning the inspection of heating and exhaust systems of aircraft utilizing a jacket around the engine exhaust as a heat source? Answer. Supplemental physical inspection with periodic operational carbon monoxide detection tests. Question. On some cabin pressurization systems, pressurization on the ground is restricted by the answer, main landing gear operated switch. Question. The cabin pressure control setting has a direct influence upon the answer, outflow valve opening. Question. The function of the evaporator in a Freon cooling system is to answer, lower the temperature of the cabin air. Question. What is the purpose of a mixing valve in its compressor bleed air conditioning system? Answer. Control the supply of hot, cool, and cold air. Question. What component of a pressurization system prevents the cabin altitude from becoming higher than airplane altitude? Answer. Negative pressure relief valve. Thanks for watching me. I'm Karina, living Lean Six Sigma. Press that like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next part.